Hey YouTube. So new acquisition here. This drywall hammer. And I know that because it says wall board. So never actually seen a finisher use one of these. So I can only imagine that this sharp cutty bit is supposed to cut drywall somehow. This thing's been beat to hell. So this thing's come off, and whoever owned it ran a screw in it to help keep it on there. And anyway, so I'm still debating on whether I'm going to turn a new handle for it or just clean this one up and re-wedge the head into place. But the thing I'm going to do for sure in this video, I got a weird idea. I want to turn this thing into something I can use in woodworking. So I'm not sure how hard this metal is or if I can harden it. I want to repurpose this edge here. You can see it's insanely dull. It's been dropped on the concrete too many times. So I want to curve this profile a little bit, slightly, like an axe would be, or a hatchet, and then I want to put a nice edge on that, and then I want to take all this corrugation off the face and make this a smooth face. So that's the plan, and then I'll worry about a handle later. And if I do make the handle, I'm not going to go into a ton of detail because I do have an extremely long, very detailed video of how I made this thing, which of course I'm not going to be doing this. It's got a solid flat shoulder, but I've got a really detailed video on how I did this, so there's no reason to ask you guys to sit through that twice. Alright, so the reason I've got that on there, this crappy super shiny finish that's on this head that I'm about to try to modify, I don't want it. You can see where it's chipped back a little bit. So we're going to see if the brass wheel will take that off. It may not, and I don't know what's in it, so it's probably going to give me cancer. I don't have safety Nazis yet, but I know one day I might. So let me get this in here. You guys are thinking, man, you're wearing gloves around rotating parts. And yes, that is exactly what I'm doing. This is what wearing gloves around rotating parts can do to you. Yeah? So the key to this is don't get your hands around the spinny part. Keep the gloves out of the spinny things. Alright, so that's a bust. That brass wheel is barely touching this, and I'm not that patient. So I'm going to move right on to the modifying portion of the show. Now, look, I don't have one of those fancy knife maker belt grinders. So I got the old belt sander, hand belt sander up in the vise here, and I'm just going to use it. So it's got a trigger lock, so I can get it started, lock it on, and then just be really, really careful. Alright, so I got the primary bevel pretty much shaped. So what I'm trying to do now is, since I'm going away from the edge, it's pulling a burr. As I do the secondary bevel, I'm raising it up a little more. So I'm going now until I see that burr grow all the way across. I'm still a little bit thick in the center. And it's not even, probably because I just never done this before. So that's what I'm shooting for now. I want to see that burr come up all the way down the bevel. Alright, I saw it that time. I got a full bevel, a full burr all the way across the bevel, so that's exactly where I'm going to stop. Double check and see if I can tell that this thing is still centered and it isn't looking too horrible. Anyway, I'm going to move on to the face, and I'm basically just going to clean it up with this ragged out 80 grit. Alright, so there's the hammer face. You can still kind of see the lines where the meat tenderizer face was on there, but you can't feel them. So it's not too shabby. So there's our bevel, nice arch to it, and somewhat centered. So this is still rough, still burred. You can see it pulling. It's pulling little feathers off the leather in my glove. So, yeah. So I'm gonna leave the face like this. No rough corner on it. I mean, that's the, finish hammer kind of face I wanted to have on it. This puppy right here is going to be the special treatment. So we'll move on to the next step now. Alright, so I tried to talk myself into reusing this old handle that was already on it, and I failed. So I'm gonna turn a new handle for it. It's gonna be really similar to this one, and it's pretty much going to be the same process as what I went through with that mallet, this mallet right here. So if you want to see that part of the process, go watch that video. I don't remember which episode it was, but it's pretty long. So have 18-20 minutes to sit and watch, or you can skip the ratio portions and just get to the offset turning. But yeah, so I'll probably take some video of it in case something crazy happens, or I poke an eye out or something like that, so you guys can see all the blood and gore. But other than that, I think all you're going to see next is me fitting the head. I'd say she's sharp. Alright, so I'm going to clear off the mess catcher here, throw a little Danish oil on the handle, and go from there. Alright, so I got myself a little tool now, but the only thing that I don't like about this handle is there's a little bit of a gap here, just a tiny gap, but hang on, I missed a spot. Oh, I spilled some oil there, that's useful. Yeah. Gotta highlight that one piece of walnut. Alright, so I don't like the taper coming up to the head. It's a little fat. That needs to be a little bit skinnier to look right. But other than that, I'm pleased as hell with this thing. So, little hammer hatchet thingy. Hopefully eventually that silver stuff will wear off. I'm not even sure how much I'm going to use this thing. I just wanted to do something with it. Now, that's a wedge fit, no glue, just wedged, and it sealed up pretty good. So, pretty happy with that. But the handle probably weighs as much as that head does, but feels really good in the hand. I just don't like how fat that handle is coming up to the head. Other than that, pretty happy. So, yeah. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.